Hey everyone, I'm Frank from the City of Games, and today I'm going to be playing the solo version of Race to the Raft. A few things before we get started. Firstly, I am going to be playing one of the hardest scenarios on the advanced mode. If you want to see the basic version of the game, the simpler version of the game, check out the other videos. Likewise, I am playing solo, so if you want to see a multiplayer version, check out the other videos. And if you just want to learn how to play the game, check out the other videos. If you're still here and I haven't pushed you away yet, then let's get to the table and see what we're doing. We have got the green, purple, blue and orange cats that have to come down to this raft. The blue cat to this space, purple to this one, the orange can come to either of these, and then the green is coming over here. As we're playing the advanced mode, we have got the disaster deck, which is slightly under the camera here, but you don't need to see it, it's just a draw deck of cards, and we've got two additional rules not in the basic version. One of those is now when we move cats, they can only move up to 5 spaces in one movement action rather than moving as far as they like, and also when we get to the raft we get a bonus move or card draw which we can choose how we want to use. In the solo mode, we're going to be drawing 3 cards, and then we get an additional 3 cards where we create our own mini draw pile, which we can select from moving forward. But let's just get going and you'll quickly see what I mean. Other than that, there's no rule changes. So, I'm thinking we've got to keep our blue and orange cat together for this scenario. That means that they are friends and they can never be more than 5 spaces away from each other. This is tough, and that means that we want to keep them going as quickly as possible because we're going to need very specific cards. Up here, that's going to be really challenging. We probably want to get the green cat across so that we can get the perfect card for this space when it comes up. And then the purple cat, I mean, we could get the purple cat done now, but it's not going to gain us any space for fire, so we can just sit there for when we don't need those cards and we can just play them. With the blue and orange, I'm keen to get these going, so I'm thinking, what do we take? Do we take squares for the orange? Do we take crosses for the blue? Obviously these both have a little bit of the other, but now what I'm thinking is we could take circles for blue that have a good chunk of orange. Whilst they've got a similar amount of blue up here, there's a higher amount of orange. We could take triangles for the orange, and likewise having more blue, they also give us that purple and green. The purple we kind of said we don't want, but maybe that will be fine. So maybe I'm thinking triangle because it gives us a good option for orange, it gives us a good option for some blue, but maybe not enough blue. We've got some good blue here we want to use. So I'm thinking maybe we take 2 triangles, and then I'm thinking we probably want one more blue focused card, and I'm thinking maybe the circle because it does have that little bit of kind of sand on there. And now we've taken our 3 cards, but now we form the solo player draw deck by choosing 3 more cards. So I'm thinking that honestly, we may still need some blue, so I'm going to put that into our draw deck, but I'm also kind of hopeful that we'll get that bit of blue, so maybe we're just going to take 2 triangles. So we've built up our draw deck, and now we've got our 3 cards. So what I'll do is I'll move these ones down here so that you can see them, but you don't need to know what's on them. I don't know what's on them. They're just our draw deck, and we're going to create up our play area. Now, straight away, I am not seeing much blue. I'm a little bit worried because we do have some orange, so we can get orange going. That blue is unfortunate because it's not going to position up. We've got a great purple card that we said we don't really want to play, and maybe we have just been greedy. So I'm feeling like we probably just need to get this played, get something for the orange, and then hopefully we'll get a blue from the draw pile. So we're going to place this one down. We're going to place some orange. That's going to give us our first fire tile, and already I'm not feeling like that was a great first card. Where are we going to put this? I don't want to put this here. That's going to block off far too much space, but this is going to be wasteful, and I feel like, oh my goodness, if we do this, we need a blue and orange card combined, which is just pushing our luck too much. So I'm worried about that. I feel like we need some maneuverability, so whilst it's not going to be great, this first one is going to come up in this corner out the way. It's going to make our life even harder here, but I feel like we don't want to start screwing ourselves down here just yet. So now we draw back up to 3 from our draw deck, and we've taken the circle hoping for more blue, but we really didn't get it. That's not given us a good option for blue at all. So we just need that one card. If we had had that one first, we would have been fine. And this is where maybe taking all these triangles was a big mistake, and it's going to come back and bite us because we're gambling on that blue. We could potentially... Oh my goodness. I'm thinking maybe we could put this here, because this would continue the orange. I mean, we've got to get in this direction. It's not ideal, and give us some blue to build off, but it doesn't feel great. Maybe... Are we going to play the purple card? We said we didn't want to play the purple, but I guess getting it out the way isn't going to hurt too much, and I don't see too much else we can do at this point. So it's not great, but if we place this purple in here, that does build our purple pathway down. It gives us a green box here, and it gives us just one card of purple away from completing that. So it's not great. It's not a good start. The fire is coming out, and oh my goodness, I feel like we're just going to continue down this edge for now. I'm not feeling comfortable, because this is going to make our blue and orange really, really challenging. Which of these cards is going to give us that bit of blue? I'm going to take the top one, and it does. That's not a bad card. I'm going to chuck that straight in. That is not bad. That is going to give us some blue pathway and continue the orange. I mean, that's amazing for orange. And it does give us some blue. So that is the card we wanted. And now, luckily, because this is not the fire we wanted, we can probably start building down here, because we know that we're okay up here. We're going to get our other card. Still no blue. So next turn, we're probably going to go all in on the blues. And maybe we move our orange and blues. It's not efficient, but we can only move 5 spaces, and this is 3, which is not 5, but it's, you know, it's still 60%, and then we can move our orange cat a good chunk of the way as well. Ideally, it'd be great to get the orange here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to be able to get it, so maybe up to that edge. Oh, that is tricky, because if we move the orange to here, which is as far as we can go, then we're not going to be able to put a card in here for blue, which means we're only going to move to here, and then we're going to still need a blue-orange, but we could move the orange again next round over here if we don't get that card. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going to discard 2 cards for moving blue and orange, and maybe we discard the 3rd card to start moving purple out of the way. That keeps our life nice and safe. So we're going to discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're then going to discard 2 to move our blue cat first. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to discard number 3 over here. And this is going to allow us to go 1, 2, 3, 4, because we don't want to block off that final space. And again, these cats do have to keep close by within 5 spaces. So that's the end of our first round. And it's not going great. I mean, we've moved a little bit. We've now got a little bit of space behind us, and that is okay, but we do need that blue. And I'm thinking, where do we go for the blue? Because this does give us the best chance of orange with that blue, but we just don't need red. And if we get too much red, we're going to be having a really, really bad time. So I'm really concerned, but we just saw we could come up here, but do we really want the green yet? And there's so little orange. It feels like we just need a mix. Okay, so 2 circles. We've got to get that blue. That blue is super important. We can move our orange cat quite well and get that blue. So blue is super important. And maybe we do take a triangle, and if we get that purple, at least the purple cat's out the way. That builds us up for this kind of immediate. But then I think that we're just going to take 2 more circles for our future draw pile. So I'm going to put 1, 2 circles down here, and then, oh my goodness, and a triangle. We'll see what comes up. So we'll do that. And we've got our draw pile, and we've got our 3 cards, and we're hoping for a really, really good blue and orange card. We do have a blue and orange card, but it's the wrong sides. That is not the one we wanted. This would be a great card to then be able to overlap in the future, but again, we just don't have the card we want. We do have a medium blue and a long blue here, which we could play to get that blue moving in parallel with the orange. So what I'm thinking is that we are going to probably discard one card. We've got the purple card we need for purple, so we should probably play the purple. So let's discard this one here. Whilst it is good for orange, we'll discard that to our discard pile. That is going to give us 4 to put out a fire, but let's first move a cat. I'm going to move the orange 1, 2, 3, which is still within enough spaces of blue, but it allows us to build up that blue pathway. Not super efficient, but it's the options that we have right now. And now we've discarded 4 cards, we're going to get a disaster, because in the advanced mode, just getting fire is not enough. A disaster is what we get instead. So we're going to draw 2 cards. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to get an extra 2 cards into our hand, which means that we're simply going to take 2 of these cards, and I think we'll take one triangle. Well, we're not going to need to triangle as much because we did the purple. So I think that we're going to take 2 circles and add those to our hand, bringing our hand up to 4. Now we've done that, we're going to place 1 fire tile and we're going to add the fire onto the board. And luckily, oh my goodness, that's not ideal. That does cost us 2 spaces, but it keeps it out of the way, and I don't know. I mean, what if we go this way round? I mean, that's... It kind of feels better because we don't lose a space, but equally this bit here is just not going to be great for us. So I feel like taking the 2 loss gives us a better future, and that's what I'm thinking. So now we've got some more cards out. Did anything really give us what we wanted? And the answer is quite bluntly no. So we're going to take this one. Let's build up this blue path, and that's at least going to get our blue cat moving. We're going to bring out another fire, and we're hoping that this fire is going to come down into this area here, and this is the perfect piece. Oh my goodness, that was a good piece for us to get right now, because we are already up against it on this end. So we've still got 3 cards, so we don't draw back up just yet. Okay, so where are we at? We could play another blue, but there's no orange. I really want to get that double blue and orange, and it's not great. We could play the purple and get the purple out the way, but it's not going to be amazing for fire. So I feel like maybe at this point, I feel like we're going to do the purple. This feels so bad. We're literally concentrating on the one thing, which I said we would leave till last. But it's the way the cards are playing out for us right now, and it's just going to be tricky working out where to put this. I think we're coming down this side. I feel like... No, because that stops us being able to get to that green square. If I did that, we would have been blocked. So that is a terrible, terrible plan. What about if I put it up here? This is also going to make getting around this corner super, super hard. So as much as I hate to say it, I feel like maybe here. The fire's surrounding our cats already, and we are not moving far forwards. We're still looking for that perfect card. We are not getting it. So what we're going to do is we are going to discard a card to move our purple cat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite all the way to the end, which is unfortunate for us, but that's where it played out. We're then gonna... What are we gonna do left with our last 2 cards? We could move blue. Maybe we're gonna start moving green. Do we want to get green going? I mean, it feels like the blue and orange is gonna be a little bit away behind. So maybe we do want to get our green cat going, and we can get green through and then have a bit of fire coming up on this corner. So we could get green out, then, get some pathway, then start moving green out. This would have been fantastic if it was 1 turn later. So why are we going to put this? I mean, again, if we put this here, it's going to block off that green space. So we could put this along the top, but it is going to make life super hard on that corner. Oh my goodness, this is not the tile that we wanted. I mean, I'm thinking maybe there. That is horrendous. There's no way that can be the best option. But I'm thinking if I put it here, then we've got to go round, which is making these guys go further. And having it up here, at least it brings us through this gap. But it's going to be tough. Really, really tough. But I can't see a better option. Over here, it's going to block us off. Down here, it's going to block off blue. Oh my goodness. I think that's where it's going. And I can feel the eyes shining upon me of disgust of what I just did. So we're going to discard the other card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get our green cat across. And now we are already, as I said, this is one of the more advanced, more complicated, more challenging scenarios that come in the game. So there are plenty to play before this. But let's see where we can go next. So we need our orange and blue. We do have enough room for both of them. So at this point, purple is irrelevant for us now. So whilst I liked this idea earlier, green is now useful. So I feel like we're going to go squares and crosses. And we're just going to hope. We're going to take 2 squares because we do have no orange squares. We're then going to take a cross to give us that blue. I'm going to move the discard down underneath here so we can see the discard piles. And then I'm going to invert it. I'm going to take 1, 2 crosses for our draw pile and a square, and that gives us some options depending on what we're going to need. Let's turn this over. Let's hope that we finally get some good blue and orange. The likelihood of getting them both on the same cards is so low going through these decks, but we just don't want a third of our cards to be purple and red, and this is one of those challenges. How much do you want to push that risk in this game? So, blue and orange, we've got 2 good cards that we could play up. The problem is with this blue one is that, I mean, we would put this across and we could move blue up, but then orange is basically stuck. We could equally put the orange one in that's going to allow us to move orange up and then bring blue up behind it. So I feel like that's going to be our option, but then do we want to get green going? I think green, we're okay with green for a minute. So let's bring in orange. Let's get some orange in here. Let's hope that that's going to give us enough. Again, these can't move further than 5 squares away from each other. So we've got to be really, really cautious here. Have we been lucky? Have we been lucky? Is this going to fit up in this space? It is so close. Oh my goodness, that is going to make this corner so challenging. I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do it. It's going to be too much, but I just don't know where else we can go. We need to move blue and orange. We have to move blue and orange now, because otherwise we're stuck. I mean, this is horrendous. Is that really the best option for that tile? It can't be. Maybe... No, this can't be where we go with it. Surely we have to just do something like this. Maybe. I mean, again, it's not really any better, is it? It's really not much better, but I feel like that's our option. So at this point, we are after a blue. So we're going to take one of our cross cards and just hope that it's a blue and an orange. They do exist. They exist. The problem is it's not. Oh, it's not in the best places for us, though, is it? I mean, we could put the blue across and then put the blue and orange up, but that's 2 cards and we're not doing anything with it. I think we're going to have to just move the cats. I think we're going to have to move blue up and we're going to have to move orange up, and that's not great. Now, we could move purple across. If we move purple across, we get a free move, which means we could move one of these without discarding a card, because discarding a card will trigger a disaster. However, we don't necessarily want to do that because we might want to move an exhausted cat, and that would become more efficient by doing it with this because we wouldn't have to discard 2 cards. So I'm saving this final move for when we've got an exhausted cat that we want to move again, because that will save us 1 extra card of movement. So maybe, oh my goodness, do we want to get the green cat going? I feel like maybe it's hard. It's really hard. Part of me is wondering, do we switch spaces? Like, do we just like this blocks off the orange, but it gets the blue ahead and it allows us to build the blue right up. We could get the blue all the way up to here if we do that, but the orange is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. So I think that's what we're going to do. It feels so wasteful to back over what we did, but that is what I'm feeling is going to be our optimal placement right now. Please have this tile fit somewhere nicely. This is, as long as we can get this tile in, and it would be so good if we had moved that blue cat. I mean, oh my goodness, we could possibly. This is just asking. No, that's too much. That's too much if we were to do that. So I feel like maybe here. Again, this pathway is closing off so horrendously that I just don't see how we're going to get through it. But that's where we're at. We now need orange. So we're going to take the other squares and we don't get it. So maybe moving forward, what are we going to do? We're going to move some cats. So obviously we're going to move blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to play another blue. So let's move our blue card. Let's get rid of this card here. Then we're going to move our blue cat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's now exhausted. It's still within 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The whole time it's within that 5 spaces. And now we're going to get our final card. It is a blue and orange that would have been perfect for playing here if we hadn't just moved that cat. Oh, do we want to move it back? Do we want to move it back? It feels like that's such a waste. But I feel like that's the option. I feel like this is what we're going to have to do. So we're going to take this card and we're going to discard this card to now move the purple cat onto its final destination, to move the blue cat back 2 spaces. And this is going to trigger another disaster. We're going to take this and it says draw 1 card and place a fire tile. Because we don't have any cards to draw from, we can draw it straight from the deck, and that's not too bad. So I think I think I'm going to go back to triangle. As much as we said we weren't doing it, we do get a big orange, and now the fire tile comes out and hopefully it will still fit behind us, and it's a good one. It's a good tile. Finally, something that's just going to fit, not cause us too much of a problem. And now we've just got to get this card out. If we can get this card out, we might be okay. We might be able to move forward. But we know the fire is coming. Oh my goodness. The perfect fire does exist, folks. The perfect fire does exist. So this is okay. The problem is we've now got 2 cards, so we can use one to move the orange cat, but we can't move the blue cat because it's exhausted. We can't move the green cat because it's got nowhere to move to, which means we do have to play one of these cards. The question is, which one is the right one to play? I don't know how we're going to get around this corner. Part of me feels like we could play the orange, because this would then give us the ability to move orange ahead and bring blue in behind. It also gives us potentially room for moving green. Likewise, maybe this is so close to being perfect. So close to being perfect. Like, do we keep moving this green cat along? Like, we could just try, and we can't. No, we can. Because of where this fire is and where this cat is, we can only really do this. And that is that is not great, because then we have to put a card in here. We've trapped ourselves so inefficiently up here. We have to do this, get the green through, because otherwise these guys aren't going anywhere. We're going to take a tile out of the bag, and we don't want this piece. We really don't want this piece. I mean, if I put this one here, again, it's going to block us off. If I put it down here, it's going to block us off. There's nowhere up here I can place it. And if I put it here, it's just going to block us off. I don't think that there is really a good option. This was nearly great if it was 1 turn away. So I think at this point, we're going to just have to place this. We're just going to have to place this, and then we're probably going to have to remove it. So now what I'm thinking is, when do we remove it? Do we remove it now We could. I mean, we're losing a point, but maybe we just remove it now. And maybe whilst we're at it, we remove one other tile, because if we remove, say, this tile, it's gonna help us. And we're spending 2 points at that point. We have to spend 1 to get rid of this, because otherwise we're just gonna be in trouble. Do we spend 1 to get rid of this now to try and give us that bit of hope? Because we are really battling around this corner, and I think we do. I think that now we do, because if we don't, we're going to just struggle too much, and that's going to cause us more problems. So I'm going to give the bag a nice good shake up. We've just already spent 2 of our 3 water tokens, which means that we are not going to get perfect points for this round. We're only a maximum of 3 out of 5. We're going to discard the other tile here to move our orange forwards, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to come to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is as far as we can go, but that's probably okay. Then we can bring our blue up. Then we can move orange, green, and blue. Everyone's happy. Oh my goodness, it's the end of another round, and it doesn't feel like our cats have even got halfway yet, but it does feel like our ability to win has gone drastically downhill. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to have to get green through first, because we've built that green path. Then we do need some orange path and then blue. So I feel like we need to take at least, let's just take 3 squares. This is going to give us our green and our orange. Then we're going to take 2 crosses to get some more green and some blue, and then maybe we're going to take 1 square just in the hope that we're going to be able to do it. Let's flip these over, see what's going to come through. Okay, we've got orange and blue on 1 card, we've got blue and green, and we've got an amazing green card here as well. Now, how do we make this work? What is our best options? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we move the blue cat first, because that then does give us fire room. Maybe we have to get that blue cat moving before we do anything. But what card do we want to get rid of? I want the orange card. I want the green card. This one I kind of feel like could be useful if these cats were switched, but maybe because they're not, that is the right card to do. And we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us the ability to keep orange moving and green moving. And then, I don't know, do we want to let's take some more green and orange and hope that we get something. Again, blue and orange, we're finally getting them. But I don't know if it's the right time for them. I don't know if we're going to be able to use that. So we've got to get green out. We need green out the way. So what is our best option? It's going to be this card. And as much as it's a great card, it feels like all we're going to be able to do is build up those 3 squares. I don't think we can get around this fire square. So that is the best we're going to be able to do with that. Now let's take some fire out the bag, and let's hope, okay, we got back one of the ones I put in, which is better now. I mean, what is this looking like? That, my goodness, that does not look great. But I mean, maybe we'll get something that fits in here. There are shapes that will fit in that gap, whether or not we're going to get them, but I just don't know where else we could put it. We could flip it and put it down here, but it really just reverses that problem. And I don't want to stick it back up here. We need to keep that space free. So that's okay for now. Now we'll take over a cross. That's going to give us even more green. At this point, we're probably going to move our green cat. So, which one are we going to play? Which one are we going to play? I mean, this is the only one we can play for this area, because this one won't allow us to connect this up, because there's fire and where the cat is. If we're 1 back, this would have been perfect for us, but we're not, and I don't think at this point we can move backwards. So I think that we're going to have to sacrifice this card here, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is going to bring our green cat forward, allowing us to put some orange in there. And what do we get? Another really, and this time we can make the most of that to get us all the way here and 1 card away from home. So we have to play this. I really want to play this, and maybe we do. We could just get blue out. No, because it would just get us to there. I think we go for the orange, because the orange gives us actually out. It gives us the most amount of movement possible. But where are we going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's fine. If we get this one in here, that allows our orange cat to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the blue, so we can get to that square with orange. And we need to do that for the movement, because otherwise we can't put a card in here for blue. So we need to have... So maybe we shouldn't have played that card yet, because we're not going to be able to move on to it. Well, we can, it's just not efficient, is it? But, I mean, maybe that's our option. Maybe that is what we're going to have to do. So we're going to take out a tile, and it is not great. But can we make it work? If we put this here again, still doesn't fit. Down here, blocking off the blue. I mean, we could put it in here, and again, that's just not going to help. So maybe it's going to come up here. But that is painful. Again, we're just that one step behind. If we hadn't have got these purples and we had maybe been a little bit less gambly, we would have been okay. So what are we going to do? We've got a good green card, but can we afford to play it? I don't know. I think, though, at this point, we're going to have to. Oh, I don't know where this fire's going to go. I think what we're going to do is we're going to move orange. It's not efficient, but we're going to move orange because we're going to have to play... If we play the green, we can't move green because it's exhausted. So we either play both cards or we play one and move orange. That is our options. So we might as well play the green because it's the best. The orange we can't play because it's in the way. We don't want to place the blue over the orange because we need to use the orange, which means we're going to move the orange. If we're going to move the orange, that will give us 4 discarded cards, which will trigger a disaster. So maybe we do that first to see what's going to happen. So I think we do this. We then take the gamble that the disaster is not going to be as bad, or might be helpful in some way. So we'll flip over the disaster, see what comes out, move 1 cat 3 spaces. That is annoying because we have to move a cat 3 spaces if possible, which means we either have to move the orange cat back or the green cat back. We really don't want to do either of those, but the orange is going to be the most efficient because we only want to get the orange to this square. So this fact we have to move it back 3 spaces, whilst that's not ideal, is not going to be as bad as the green, because the green we do want to keep moving down. Now we're going to get a fire tile, so I'm going to dig into that bag, take out a fire tile, and it is the F tile. And oh my goodness, I know I keep trying to put stuff down here and it's still not working out for us. And where are we going to go? We can! Oh my goodness, I mean, this is a disaster. Literally a disaster. But I feel like that's our best options. But now we're going to play another card and we're going to get another fire. So the question is, do we remove a fire using our last water token before we do that? Because maybe if we remove this, it will give us something that can be more efficient up here and make our lives easier. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Because we could remove this. And this will guarantee something's going to fit into this space, surely. There's only a few tiles that wouldn't fit into a space this big. But we'll probably get them. So I think we're going to use it. I think we're going to use our last water token and we're going to remove this tile and put it back into the bag just to free up that space. Then we're going to play this green card, and our green cat now has a long journey ahead of itself. But we're going to go into this bag and we're going to dig deep. And what are we going to get? Oh, okay. I mean, that's worked out well. That does fit up into that space. So this is what I was talking about. We took the gamble, but it's now been efficient and it's fitted into that area. It's only lost 1 square, which is better than the last one. It's gained us a bit of extra movability with our blue, and our cards are done. So we're going to stand up our cats, and it is already getting super tight. Where are we going to end up? We are... I mean, one green card and that green cat is done, and then we're back to blue and orange. And I think that we're just doing squares and X's. I think we're just taking alternating, so we need a orange because then we can get the orange cat moving. Then we're going to need a blue, then we're going to take 2 more blues for the discard, and we're going to take 1 more orange. We're going to flip these over, and we're hoping again blue and orange is fantastic, some really good green cards. So I mean, this card is pretty good for over here. This will... Oh no, we can't put it over the fire, obviously. I mean, it's good over here for orange. And it does give us the options for connecting up with blue. I don't know what to do. We have to move the green cat. The green cat has to move next. So, what do we get rid of? I guess we don't need to play a green card. We only need to move it. So that's important to note. So we should keep this one because obviously it's got green and orange. So let's discard this one. That's going to allow us to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting that out the way, that allows us to get our orange card in here to move the orange to then get some blue. So now we're going to take a blue, and again, all that green is coming into play. We're going to find the blues and the oranges in a minute, but we are really neck and neck deep in it now. So do we try and get that, do we try and get the green cat out? That does give us a bonus move, but it's so expensive. We could trigger a disaster. I mean, we have to get the orange. And what I'm wondering is, oh my goodness, is there a way to use this? But it's not, because up there, the blue is still over a card away. And down here, it's moving orange out the way and the blue is still over out the way. So I don't see any good ways of achieving the blue with this card. So we're going to stick this in here. This does give us the orange we need. Then we're going to take this card. We'll do the fire first, sorry. Then we're going to take this card and hope for the best. Okay, where can we put this? Where are you going to go that's not gonna destroy everything? This might be the final moment. Is there a place that we can place it? Over here, we have to get a card in here, so there's nothing we can do here. We have to come down here. I mean, we could possibly do something like this, which is just not going to be good. That's going to block off our green. It's going to make the blue and the orange even harder, but it doesn't cost us the game. So maybe we could do that. Again, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. So I feel like maybe this is our best option. Oh, that is not good. That is not good news. Let's bring this card out. Okay, so that fire, I mean, we've not lost, so that's a plus, but we are desperately behind. Where are we going to go? We've got a whole bunch of bits of blue on these cards, so let's dump this card because we need to move the orange. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's still within 5 of the blue, and now we just need to do something so that blue can get moving. But nothing is good. I mean, we've got 2 squares over here. Nothing has more than 2 squares on it. And that, I mean, I guess it's still 2 squares. I mean, it's still going to allow us to get closer. It's not a good 2 squares, but it's not a bad 2 squares, I guess. It does bring us up to be able to come through to this area. It allows our orange to continue moving. It is very painful. It is very, very painful. And we've got a nicer tile. A nicer tile. Surely we can make this one fit. We can't cover that blue square. We do need a card to be able to go here, which means we've only got these areas. If the blue cat had moved 1 space, we would be able to get it in there. Oh my goodness. I mean, again, if we were to do that, that's going to block off. Orange could come through, but blue is going to be stuck. I feel... Oh my goodness, it's tough. Like, over here, that's going to block off our green cat getting out. If our green cat was out, we would have been able to fill this space. So maybe we should have moved the green cat. I didn't consider that that would give us space up here. But I think I think that this could be it. I think it could be over. There's nothing I can see. There are no good options that aren't going to block us off, because everything is just going to stop us having the ability to place that final card. I could try and put this here, but again, it's just not going to come through. If we come down here, it's fine for the orange because we can use this one, but that green is still not going to come in. We should have placed the green card there. That would have been the move. If we had placed the green card down here, we could have fired over it and we would have had that pathway, but we didn't do that. Instead, we were greedy, we pushed, we tried, and we failed miserably. We've only saved one of our cats. The other three, perhaps they'll go back onto the island and need rescuing another day, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what some of the harder scenarios in Race to the Raft look like, how the advanced mode and the solo mode work. And if you get any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time, keep on adventuring.